Hi, I'm Sean Dye. Today we're going to do a charcoal pencil sketch on gray paper. So I have a piece of charcoal paper here, and I have a photograph that I took last summer after a day of painting along Lake Champlain in Vermont on my way back to my house, just a little while before sunset. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take my 2B pencil, and I'm going to draw the shape of my composition here onto the paper. Now the charcoal paper has, it's kind of a greenish gray, but it has a little bit of tooth to it. And I find that when I work with charcoal or charcoal pencils, it's nice to have a little bit of texture to work with. Next thing I want to do is figure out where my horizon line is. So I'll put a little line in for my horizon line. Nice big tree over here on the right. A little indication of the road here. Just that little piece of road helps give you a little more perspective. And same thing with the mailbox, which will give us an opportunity to show a little bit of size change. So we've got these sort of diagonal lines here. Now this is a really easy way to pack up for a sketching outing. If you just have a handful of 4 pencils and a piece of paper. We'll put the basic shapes of the barn in. We'll get the silo. So we have our basic composition established, and if you want, you could even put in a hint of some of those big clouds that are coming down, big storm clouds. Okay, so I've got sort of perspective lines going in different directions. Now what I can do is I can go with the softer pencils and put in some of the shadows. So here is my 4B, which is a softer pencil. I'm going to put in the tree here, which is my darkest dark. We'll tuck it behind the buildings. Get some dark here where the grasses are meeting the road. We can put the little bit of shading on the side of the barn here. Got a tree tucked behind this barn. Some very distant trees. So even though I'm working from a photo reference, you could use the same technique for your sketching outdoors. I've got my softest pencil is my 6B. So what I'll do is I'll go in and deepen the darkest darks just a little bit here. Get a little bit of value on the silo. I'm just putting the shadows underneath the eaves of the barn. And what I can do is sort of lay the pencil on its side. And I can suggest some of these big storm clouds up here. I'm letting the paper do the work a little bit here. By laying it on its side, I can have the texture of the paper contribute a little bit more. I'll go back to my hardest, which is my 2B, just to put in a little more of the texture. And also in my hand, you'll see that I have a white pencil here. So the white pencil is going to let me get my highlights in. So let's put that flash of light up on the top of that silo. And if you use it solidly, you'll get the bright whites. But if you use it a little bit softer, you'll get a little less light. So we'll do the rooftops. They're getting quite a bit of light. I forgot to put the little cupolas up here on this barn, so we'll put those in and highlight them. So if you do a sketch, real quick sketch like this on location, the great thing is you can sort of capture a lighting scenario, and then if you go to paint it, you won't have to rush so much because you'll have all this information recorded. It also gives you a chance to work out the composition and figure out where everything's going to fall. Now I'm going to use the same technique we used before. I'm going to just lay the pencil on its side and just use a little bit of color. There's a little more of a flash of light back in the sky here. And put a tiny bit across the front of the barns. It's sort of mixing in with the earlier charcoal pencil. And we'll put a little bit on the road. Okay, so now we have a plan for a painting. So thanks for joining me. I'm Sean Dye. You can check out more of my artwork at SeanDyeStudio.com. And you can see more free art lessons at Jerry'sArtAroma.com.